Because, Hazel, I don't know if you know this, but Mark Twain once said, "If I cannot drink bourbon and smoke cigars in heaven, then I shall not go."
Huh. I didn't know that.
Well, Mark Twain would love to know that September is now National Bourbon Heritage Month. There he is, Mark. And that's because the spirit is so ingrained in our country's history, which I just learned today.
Yeah, me too. Well, why some like to enjoy bourbon straight up or, on the rocks, they can also make a delicious cocktail.
Yes.
So joining us this morning with some ways that we can celebrate this month in style is Paul Kim. He is a certified American whiskey steward and lover of all things bourbon. So welcome to New York living.
A whiskey steward, okay.
Yes, thank
is
you
that
so
on your
much.
resume?
Indeed, it is.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Takes a lot of studying and a lot of tasting to get there, but it's a fun experience.
Tasting the merchandise.
Exactly.
Okay, I love it. Talk to us about the importance of bourbon as far as American history goes, and why does it get its own month?
Well, bourbon is America's national spirit since
Is it really?
1965.
Who knew?
Mind-blowing. Marisol always says, "I learn something on this broadcast every day."
I do
Yeah.
too.
And as you mentioned, it is Bourbon Heritage Month
Okay.
since 2007. And a few rules about bourbon is it must be made with 50% corn. It must be made in the United States. And it must be aged in charred white oak barrels. And you cannot add any additional flavors or colorings. So all of the wonderful flavors in these whiskeys come from the mingling of the distillate and the wood.
But since its inception, has anything changed or has it always remained the same?
I mean, essentially, it's the same process. It's just more regulations have been put in place since the early days.
Oh, I'm sure of that.
Yes.
I see.
Well, honestly, you're making it sound like a health food because there's nothing being added into it. So I like the way this is going. Now, we obviously
are going to be making something.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Shall we get into it? This
Please.
is number one. We're going to switch seats with you.
I mean,
I'll let you
whiskey,
drive.
extremely versatile, so it
I'll
works
stand
great
way
in all
over.
cocktails. We are on New York living, so I figured we had to make a Manhattan.
Oh,
Well,
perfect.
I'm not going to say no.
So we'll start off, grab our mixing glass, and
What
it's
do you have?
Manhattan. So I'm adding 2 dashes of Angostura, 1 ounce of vermouth, and 2 ounces of Woodford Reserve bourbon.
Can I just tell you
So
how delicious
212,
this
another
smells?
shout out to Manhattan.
212,
So
I get
our
it.
2 dashes.
I get it. Look at Paul Kim.
Our
Okay.
1 ounce of Carpano Antica sweet vermouth, and 2 ounces of delicious Woodford bourbon. Give that a quick
Long
stir.
spoon there. Wow.
Well, things taste better when you pour them from far away or when you stir them with tall fancy things.
I didn't know that. See, I learned another new thing.
That's great.
So we're gonna chill, dilute, and emulsify the ingredients here.
Okay.
Oh. It's like a science
Fancy.
project.
Indeed, we're gonna strain.
It smells so delicious.
Oh, I love a coupe glass too. I say this every time we do something with drinks, but I love a coupe glass.
So now we have a food pairing. We have cinnamon raisin bagels here. And there's grain in the whiskey and grapes in the vermouth as fortified wine. So it's an ideal pairing here.
It's interesting because you always think of wine pairing, but rarely do I ever think of bourbon pairing.
Look
Well,
at this. We're
bourbons
giving
have
you
so
guys a
many
full
different
meal.
flavors. Like Woodford here has over 200 detectable flavors. And so it's extremely versatile. So you can play around and make all sorts of delicious drinks, and it pairs gorgeously with all types of food as well.
I mean, you're treating us very nicely with the
Yeah.
Woodford Reserve.
So
okay.
here, oops,
Okay.
sorry,
That's all right.
nervous around
Oh,
such
please.
wonderful people.
Don't be
you're
nervous
very
around us. All right,
Okay,
I'll
and
try
a
this
taste
first one,
tester.
Hazel.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's delicious.
Classic cocktail.
Okay, I love it.
And moving on.
Let's move on to number 2
Perfect.
of the day.
So, as you may know, the espresso martini has made quite the resurgence.
Yes,
Please,
has.
yes.
But whiskey also plays gorgeously with coffee. So this is a revolver. I like to call it a double barrel revolver because we're
Okay.
using double oaked, which is uses 2 different kinds
Oh,
of
you're
wood.
funny.
I love puns,
So do we.
just as much as whiskey. So we're going
my
to start
gosh,
off
you're
with
so
2
funny.
dashes of orange bitters here.
Okay.
Okay.
I love that it's like in a little dropper bottle. It's like,
Makes me
Medicine.
feel like a scientist.
you are a scientist, okay?
We're going to add half an ounce of Borghetti coffee liqueur.
All right.
And that's wonderful because it's made with espresso already in it, so you get the nice roasty coffee
very
profiles.
nice.
Okay.
And then we add 2 ounces of Woodford Reserve double oaked. And that double oaked has really strong coffee, cocoa, butterscotch notes.
Oh,
So it goes
delicious.
great
Well, I
with
love
coffee
butterscotch
as well.
too.
I
So
love all
coffee,
those things.
butterscotch, I'm good. I'm in this one.
All right, butterscotch.
Once
Butter.
again, we'll stir to chill, dilute. Grab another fancy coupe glass here since you love them so much.
It's like he knew me. That's a perfect pour.
Oh, wow.
Wonderful. We're gonna express one. I grabbed two on accident. We're gonna just express the
I thought
oils
you were gonna
here.
hit it against your hand. I've seen bartenders do that. And it always
the-
So that's mint julep season
Oh, yes.
is when I get slapping with the mint.
slap the
We're not
herbs.
going to slap the orange peel.
Yep.
All right.
Hazel?
Here.
Okay.
Oop.
That's
Pardon
okay.
me. Your
Okay, while I
double-barrel
take a sip.
revolver.
While she takes a sip, why don't you get started on the last one for
Let's
us?
go. And that should go great with the babka because of those coffee, cocoa
I
notes.
smell deliciousness.
Wonderful.
Wouldn't mind doing
And
this every
here,
morning.
my apologies,
Sorry.
I'm actually going to need to go over here and
Yeah,
grab
you
the
do your
Angostura
thing.
bitters here.
We'll dance with you.
Pardon me, shimmy
Okay.
here. We're going to start off with 2 dashes of Angostura bitters.
Okay.
This is a lion's tail, by the
A
way.
lion's
Oh.
tail.
So,
And
you
there's
know,
the
with
recipe.
the autumn season coming up, I love to play with the spice notes of a lot of different
Sure.
whiskeys.
Yeah.
So we're going to start off with the bitters. We've got half an ounce of lime juice,
Yes.
A little citrus in there.
half an ounce of simple syrup, which is just equal parts water and sugar.
Okay.
Ah, yes. A simple
Sorry,
syrup.
we're going to grab allspice dram. It's a wonderful liqueur.
Oh, I smell
got
that one.
great spice.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then
yeah,
I'm adding 2 ounces of Old Forester 1870. And Old Forester is actually the first bourbon to be sold in bottles. So a little shout out to the, you know,
Look at
one
this,
of
a history
the
lesson and
OGs.
everything.
And
You're
it's
a
got
wealth of
great
knowledge.
spice notes and stuff that play great with the allspice dram.
Do you need this?
Nope,
stirrer?
we're going
Oh,
straight
you're
into the
Oh,
ice.
hold on. Now we're doing one of
Yes.
these.
Yeah, so since there's citrus juice in here, we like to shake. These are
I
all
see.
spirit forward.
Oh,
And so
okay.
here we're gonna emulsify.
Listen, Paul's going to shake that real nice for us. Paul Kim, by the way, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to post all the recipes for you. We got to go to break real quick, but go check out our Instagram, MyLivingTV. When we come back, we'll give you the results of the taste test.
Yes.
Don't go anywhere.
Yummy.